Major production funding for Game Notes is provided by Hargrove Engineers and Constructors is proud to support LPB. Since 1995, Hargrove has been employee-owned and relationship-driven. With 2,700 teammates around the world, Hargrove works as one team to go beyond expectations.
You have what it takes to begin your journey: curiosity, ingenuity, intellect, determination. Through a vast portfolio of affordable and in-demand academic programs, hundreds of student-focused activities, and wraparound services, Southern University meets you where you are, giving you the tools and support that lead you to a successful career in the sciences or the arts. Begin with your goals anywhere. Finish stronger at Southern University at subr.edu.
The Rolf Pugh Agency is proud to support this program. Based in Louisiana, Rolf Pugh has provided marketing services nationwide since 1981, partnering with clients in healthcare, retail, automotive, and more. For more information, visit rpagency.com.
With additional support from Lafayette Travel, the LSU Alumni Association, and the Cook Hotel and Conference Center at LSU, Louisiana Tech University, Natchitoches Regional Medical Center, Northwestern State University, Red Stick Sports, the U.S. Army Baton Rouge Recruiting Battalion, the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting, and viewers like you. Thank you.
Well, as we say hello to the month of November, we say hello to you and welcome to Post Game Notes here on LPB. He is my Super Bowl champ partner, Scott Shanley. I'm simply just Victor Howell. But it's great to have you with us. We have lots to talk about. And Scott, as you talked about in October, we get the idea of what these teams are starting to become in their identity. Now that we get to November with the playoff rankings coming out soon, not that unfortunately any teams in Louisiana have to worry about that, you also start seeing bowls and conference titles. And we do have teams in those races, and that really ramps up the excitement.
Yeah, it does. This is the time of year where the season starts to get a little long in the tooth. You start seeing more upsets. You start to see more underdogs win some games. You can't get tired of the process. This is the time of year where teams, you start to get a little tired of the same routine over and over again, but this is the time of year where there's most to play for. And also, there's a little chatter out there that people have to keep out of their minds. I'm not talking about players. Right. Coaches have to keep those distractions out of their locker rooms.
Yeah, and some of the coaches we'll hear from in the next hour or talk about that point exactly, the focus through the grind, trying to take it all the way in. We have a full slate. Let's get you caught up on what we're going to be talking about here over the next 60 minutes. And we'll start with the Lions from Southeastern coming up, because that is one of the teams that is looking towards playoff aspirations. They had a game last night, not looking ahead to Lamar. We'll show you how things worked out at Strawberry Stadium. Also, the Colonels from Nicholls, are they trying to get a win streak? It was homecoming down in Thibodaux, and quite the performance for the team in red. And LSU can finally start focusing back on football after a tumultuous week in Tigertown, as they're looking for a new AD, a new president, and a new head coach. We will touch on the Tigers, who've been on a bye week, later on in the program. But let's start out on the field, and let's start over in the state of Alabama, because that's where we found the Cajuns from Louisiana, who have had a tough season. It seems like if there's one team in the state that just can't get a break to get over the hump, it has been Louisiana. They've had some close contests, but it's either an injury, a turnover, a bad call, something that has kept them from getting the win. But to Scott's point, you have to stick with the grind. And on Saturday, they were outside of Mobile taking on South Alabama, another team that has had a season that kind of mirrors what the Cajuns have gone through. It's been a rough go for both of these teams. Both of them have a nice streak going in terms of bowl appearances, but a loss on Saturday would pretty much eliminate that for one of these teams. So let's pick things up here in the first quarter with Zylan Perry getting 8 yards on a 2nd and 7 as the Cajuns establish the ground game, and then Lunch Winfield. He takes off. It's 3rd and 12. Yep, he winds up getting the first down. 2nd and 4 now for Winfield, and he finds Shelton Sampson across the middle. 25 yards on the touchdown. Sampson looks great coming back from that injury, and it's 7-0 Raging Cajuns. Later in the first, Winfield looking left. Up top to Sampson again, and look where he places this one. Great catch and focus by Sampson. 45 yards on that completion. The drive would stall, but it leads to a Tony Sterner 32-yard field goal, and it's 10-0 Cajuns on the road. Major Applewhite needed to see his team crack the scoreboard, and Keenan Phillips answers the call. 15 yards up the middle, he gets to the end zone. That makes it 10-7 Raging Cajuns. Just over 2 minutes to go in a half. Zylan Perry, 18 yards, cuts it up the middle, breaks it to the outside, gets it into the end zone, and it's 17-7. But we're not done with the half. 20 seconds to go in the half, and Winfield, he takes a shot down low, but look at this pass, and it's Sampson again, back of the end zone, 24-7 Raging Cajuns as they go to the break. Start of the third quarter, Winfield keeps it himself from 1 yard out, 31-7, and the route is on. But wait a minute, South Alabama still has some fight here at home. It's now 31-14. We're in the fourth. Bishop Davenport just uncorks one. Jeremy Scott has it, and he gets behind the defense. 64 yards later, he's in the end zone, and it's 31-22. So now, let's go. Under 4 minutes to play. It's 3rd and goal. Scott, watch this hit at the goal line. Davenport to Breck Long, and he gets popped by Terrence Williams, and it is just this close, Scott, from getting in the end zone.
That's what every coach says. That's the definition of defending the goal line.
So now it's 4th down, 4th and goal from the 1, and Kentrell Bullock gets stuffed. The Cajuns have a huge goal line stand. Take another look from the, oh, wait a minute. There's a flag on the play. Offsides, move it a half yard closer. Let's go for another 4th down from the half-yard line. They run Bullock up the middle again, and again he gets stuffed. You've been involved in some of these, huh?
Yeah, nothing to get a sideline going like this, like standing up when everybody thinks that the other team's going to score a touchdown.
I mean, they're from the half-yard line. They reviewed it. The official says we're going the other way, and the Cajuns go on the road and get the win, a much-needed win. 31-22 to improve to 3-6 overall and 2-3 in the Sun Belt. Lunch Winfield, more on him in a moment. He had himself a day. 14 of 15 for 232 yards. He also ran for 45 yards, 3 total touchdowns. Shelton Sampson, yeah, he's back to being Shelton Sampson. 6 catches for $138 and 2 TDs. Next, the Cajuns are back home against Texas State, but afterwards, Michael Decimo on staying the course.
One of the hardest things to do is to keep the faith and keep the focus whenever you're doing things the right way and you're not getting the results that you want. And, to be honest with you, it was hard every Sunday going in there. And, obviously we correct the things we've got to correct because we had plenty of things that we screwed up along the way. But, they were doing things the way that we asked them to do it. And they were laying it on the line. And, we just weren't getting the results. So, it's just, the belief. We talked all week about the spark and how, a spark and the fire spreads. And that's what you got to hope this is, right? We've got to capture momentum and say, this is the formula we've got to win with.
It means the world to everybody on the team because, we've been going through it the last couple of weeks. But, we finally got over the hump, so hopefully we can finish out strong like we did today.
I feel like this is our stepping block. Like, this is what we needed to get over. We need to get our win so we can get some momentum back. Like, we just been in a drought, and finally something gives. And Coach been talking about, like, it's going to give eventually, and today is that day.
This one give us a lot of momentum going into the next 3 games, man. Each game we're going 1-0, man. We just got to keep fighting 1-0, man. We drew it up in the team meeting, man. It's a full game season, so now we got 3 games to go winning. So this is going to give us a lot of momentum going into the next game.
Just bring nothing but hope and joy into our locker room and faith and belief in every single one of our teammates' hearts. So that was a big win for us. We needed that and have our bowl game hope still alive.
We've got to capture the momentum here. These kids want to play. They want a bowl game, and they know what's at stake. They want it so bad. They'll be ready to go. Tomorrow we'll get in. They'll be excited about a win, obviously, but they'll be ready to get some things fixed, and they'll be ready to move to the next opponent.
All right, so we're 1 game in, and we're already back to your point from the top of the program. Now they're breaking it down. It's a 4-game season. They see hope, stay the course. You've had some bad breaks. You're hearing all that fan chatter. But now all of a sudden, they're talking like they've been winning 3 or 4 games in a row.
Yeah, they looked really good yesterday against a South Alabama team coached by Major Applewhite, who's been a tough opponent for a lot of people. They're a tough out. Went down. They had a goal line stand. There were a lot of really good things. And you heard Coach talk about we're looking for a spark. We're looking for a spark so that spark can turn into a fire. That spark is Lunch Winfield. Winfield has been amazing. You can see this team rally around him and the conference they're playing with. Nobody loves Lunch Winfield more than Shelton Sampson. 6 catches for 138 and 2 touchdowns. So it's good to see that chemistry. But I just think his fit in this offense, you can see it emerging week by week. Maybe 2025 is the spark year, and 2026 is the actual fire. But they've been playing a really good football.
Let's look at Lunch Winfield in action, because what a day he had yesterday for the Raging Cajuns. Hit his first, 13 passes consecutively for what he was able to do out there. But in the end, what he was able to do, 14 of 15 for 232 yards. I told you 3 total touchdowns, but a 93% completion rate. That sets a school record for the Raging Cajuns. Scott, he threw a couple that were up top, but it was the precision. It was looking at the routes. You mentioned how good Shelton Sampson was. But just overall, to your point about Winfield, look, he did this at Letcher High School. He's had this kind of composure and success, but to go out and set a school record on the road when a team needed it most shows you how much he's grown in the last 4 or 5 games we've seen him in.
Yeah, I mean, he comes in, he averages between 200 and almost 300 yards of offense. He's doing something right. Everybody thought, well, he can utilize his legs and not so much in the passing game, but he's really come along. You can see all these throws he's making are great throws in what is really a passing offense with the 3 and 4 wide receiver set. So I think his fit into the offense and the way the team is rallying around him. And listen, you don't often see when Walker Howard went down earlier in the year and he came in and had the type of game he did in the limited amount of action, a quarter and a half. That's special. And so this not really surprising, but I love to see the team rallying around him.
Okay, so you can talk about one player like Lunch Winfield and what he's done, but let's go to the other side of the ball, Scott, because of at the end. 4 chances, or make it 5 chances at the goal line. South Alabama's right there, but the defense stood tall, including a 4th down penalty from the half-yard line. That's where you made your living. There's nothing like seeing that kind of action.
Yeah, you seized the momentum had swung in that game. You were up. South Alabama came back late in that game, and you're up by 9. So if you give up a touchdown, you put out the hands team, you get the onside kick. They didn't let you get to the onside kick. So that's a great job by the defense saying we're going to finish this game the way we want to finish it. And on our note, it was a great job on a goal line stand.
And they had some comments afterwards about just what that meant to the team.
I love goal line. Like it's something about your back against the wall, and you know that they need 1 yard, and you can still stop them. Like that, I take pride in that.
Never give up, man. Like the fight in the team, like we seen that every game though. So it's just a fight, man. You got to fight every down, every inch of blade of grass, man. You got to fight. So I knew we were gonna get that stop, man. I was overly confident, man. It's just a matter of time.
I was standing right there screaming, go defense, let's go D.
Like you were near the.
Yeah, I was there screaming. They probably heard me every play. They was tricking us. They said we was going on offense, went back on defense. I was just sitting there like, oh man, what's going on? But I said, go do it again. They kept doing it. That was a big thing. That was a big stand. But
Get a stop, D. Get a stop, D. But I had total faith, and they got to stop twice. So, yeah, just get a stop, D.
Certainly big for them. Now they come home, and as I mentioned, a 4-game season left. They still have some chances ahead of them. Just got to carry the momentum. Get 2 in a row now.
Yeah, that's what it's really about. And I love that they've shortened the season. I remember in the NFL we did the same thing. 16-game season earlier in my career we went 4 games. Let's win. Let's go 3-1. Let's go. And you knew what you had to do. I love this. Segmented in the season. Hey, we have 4 games. Let's go 4-0.
As we bring it back from the state of Alabama, let's take a stop off in Hammond. Strawberry Stadium right there off of I-12, where the Lions from Southeastern were in action. Next week, huge game against Lamar. Entering the weekend, Lamar undefeated in conference play. So Southeastern had to take care of business. They were at home, and they were hosting East Texas A&M. You think they'd be distracted with what's ahead of them with Lamar? No. Carson Camp making it look easy here. But that happens when you've got Jalen DiMaggio, and look at him go. That's 82 yards as he outruns everybody to the end zone, and just like that, the Lions are up for 6 minutes into the ballgame, 7-0. Last 2 weeks now for the Lions, they have run a kickback for a touchdown. Now you can add a punt return. This is Nikolai Joseph, who gets a running start, and just watch how fast he blows past everybody. That running start helped, and there he goes. 63 yards on the return, and just like that, it is 14-0 Lions. Early second quarter, they are going to keep it going. Deontay Jackson, he punches it in from 1 yard out. It's now 21-0. Oh, there's some Lion defense to be played in this ball game as well. Peyton Anderson getting into the backfield, pressure on the quarterback. He's trying to bail out, but he can't get away. That's a loss of 7. It's now 28-0 with under a minute to go in the first half. And Camp to Joseph. Yeah, he runs kicks back. He also makes nice passes and nice receptions. 23 yards on that catch. 4th and 4 with 25 seconds to go. Watch Camp gets flushed out of the pocket, rolls right, and he's going to find Mr. Touchdown. Look at that. On a rope to Joseph. 32 yards for the touchdown. It is 35-0 Lions at the break. Third quarter now, Kyle Lowe in at quarterback. He finds DiMaggio, because why not? He's still making catches. And later in the drive, Lowe, again, looks for number 1. Watch him cut from the top of your screen across the middle. Boyd's a defender. 42-0. 5 minutes into the third quarter, East Texas A&M finally gets a big play. Eric Rodriguez to Christian Jourdain. 32 yards on the far sideline in to Lions territory. And that was after Rodriguez got popped. Then KJ Schenkel scores from 3 yards out. It's the first time in about a month that an opponent has scored on Southeastern in Strawberry Stadium. This one wasn't going to be enough, though. Fourth quarter, Calvin Smith takes it left side. He punches it into the end zone. This game was over at the half. Total yards at halftime, 319 for Southeastern, 76 for East Texas A&M. Yeah, you think the Lions are distracted? I say no. 59-14 is your final score. DiMaggio, 4 catches for $157 and 2 touchdowns on the day. Carson Camp finishes 11 of 18 for 226, also ran for 18 yards. And then the big game. Next week at Lamar. By the way, Lamar lost on Saturday to UIW, so look out for what should be a massive showdown next weekend. Coach, you mentioned having so many young players that are stepping up. I want to ask you about one in particular because he's a Thibodaux native. Ian Rodriguez gets the start at quarterback 1 week ago. What a great performance he gave you, Coach, when you needed him to step in for Deuce Hogan. Introduce us to Ian Rodriguez and his story, because he certainly seemed to be calm, cool, and locked in, especially with that 34-yard touchdown run early. Exactly what your team needed from the young man.
Yeah, outstanding young man, very impressive, complete person. He does well in school, he does well in the community, and then he also is a really good football player. If you watched Ian for the last 5-6 weeks, he prepared every week like he was the starter. And so last week, he didn't have to buckle up and do anything different. He had to be himself. And it paid off on Saturday. You saw that he brings a little bit different skill set to the table than maybe Deuce was bringing in his ability to run the ball. And I think that opens some things up for our offense. And credit to the offensive line, the running backs and tight ends and receivers who were out there blocking for him. But I thought he did a lot of good things in the running game, but then also executing the passing game and taking advantage of some things that were available in the air on Saturday.
Certainly worthy of celebrating, Coach, but I know you got to lock in and focus going another week. Will he get the start again? Is Deuce Hogan back and available? What's the status at quarterback?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the week goes, and and we'll get to Saturday and make a decision about what puts us in the best position to win the football game.
Now, Coach, we're friends here on Game Notes. You're going to hold me out and give me the wait till game time decision? Come on, Coach.
Hey, there's no reason to give him any help. So
all right.
We'll see.
Okay, that's fair enough. That was my Wednesday conversation with Tommy Rybacki leading into this week's game after Ian Rodriguez's outstanding performance 1 week ago with the win over McNeese. Saturday, homecoming for the Nicholls Colonels against Houston Christian. Second drive of the game, Jake Weir back to pass, picked off by Hayden Shaheen, and he's on the move, 20 yards on the return. Who got the start? Who do you think? Ian Rodriguez got the start, and the Colonels get tricky. Next play, Rodriguez to Shane Lee, who finds a wide-open Paxton LaFont in the end zone, 24 yards, and the Colonels have a 7-0 lead. After a second interception, early second quarter, Rodriguez does it himself, just like he did 1 week ago. Punches it into the end zone, 5 yards on the touchdown, 14-0 Colonels. 2 plays later, Jake Weir looking for Braylon Finney, but check out Lawrence Sullivan. Scott, let's take another look at this. He goes stretched out airborne, and watch the focus for this interception.
This is just great ball skill. That's a tough play to make for a defender. Usually they say the reason you're playing defense is because you can't make plays like a wide receiver. That's a heck of a play.
Yeah, he is. You see him, look at him. He is all out and gets that interception. That is the third interception of the first half. It led to a 29-yard field goal by Gabriel Showalter, and the Colonels are up 17-0. Now, under 2 minutes to play in the half. More defense. Ty Marsh, he gets the sack. Huge sack, a loss of 16 for Houston Christian. End of the half, they're in field goal range, but Maddox Kopp gets picked off by Anthony Rogers. That's the fourth interception in the first 2 quarters. 17-0 Nicholls. Early third quarter, contractually, as you know, we have to show you a Zyshawn Edwards touchdown. He's the number 1 running back in the Southern Conference. He scored, but he was not a difference maker at all. After that, all Colonels. Midway through the third, Rodriguez gets Everett Hunter. He's a little excited, 24-7. First play of the fourth quarter, Rodriguez up the middle. Look at the catch by Danye Brooks. Great catch in the back of the end zone by Brooks. This Colonel team has found some confidence, and yep, the Nicholls Colonels are on a win streak. Woo! 31-7 to win 2 in a row, now 3-6 and 3-2 in conference play. 4 interceptions that we talked about for the defense, all in the first half. And what a performance by Rodriguez. 17 of 22 for 174 yards. He also ran the ball and led the charge on the ground. 15 carries for 89 yards. Next up, a trip out west to Texas, Rio Grande Valley. But afterwards, it's the confidence, it's the win of homecoming, and it's a win at home for Ian Rodriguez.
So I went to Thibodaux High. I'm from Jack Bay. I claim Jack Bay, which is right next to Thibodaux. But I went to Thibodeau High. I've gone to school in Thibodeau for pretty much my whole life. So I'm basically from here as well.
To get this win, in your backyard, how does that feel for you personally?
It's amazing. Best feeling in the world winning in Thibodeau. Especially with the support that we have here at Nicholls. It's just unreal. Last week, storming, raining, delays, still had a crowd, still had a great turnout, and they all supported us the whole game. This week, homecoming, family week, our family day, and y'all saw the crowd. It was amazing. Just a great game all around.
Ian's personality is what makes him really good, and he plays with that chip on his shoulder and such a physical runner and able to finish runs, and the team feeds off of that. It's such a momentum boost for our team when you see Ian playing tough out there, lowering his shoulder, finishing a run. Yeah, you want him to be a little bit more conservative. I think he tried to slide a time or two tonight, but that's not really who he is.
I'm very aggressive when I'm playing football. It's an aggressive, it's a violent sport. I enjoy the contact. I think that's why you play the game. So they know that's a part of my game. They do tell me to be smart in certain situations when I need to learn to get down. And I tried to do that a little bit more. After a few shots I took, I was like, all right, maybe I should get down, protect myself a little bit. So they do emphasize it, but they don't want it to take away from my game as well because it's part of my game. It's how I play ball.
It's been a great opportunity for us to show what we knew we could do. There's some games we didn't perform as well as we were hoping, and I think we've been preparing and really focusing on the details these past 2 weeks, and I think that showed.
I was pleased, especially in some first down situations, being able to force second and long, which was big for us, which led to third downs to be able to get off the field. I thought the defense did a really nice job of limiting a very good running back. That guy is leading the league in rushing for good reason. He's a really good player, and they do a great job offensively to put him in situations where he can run the football well. And so, credit to the guys on the defensive front and at the linebacker unit and also on the back end to be able to do that today.
It's the momentum. That's all football is about. It's about momentum. And the offense was going down there scoring. It's giving the defense momentum. And we're going out there giving them turnovers. All of it will work together.
Ready for action in Lake Charles, Navarre Stadium, where the Cowboys from McNeese were welcoming the Demons from Northwestern State. Defense showing off early. Second play of the game, Abram Johnston picked off by Javon Davis for the Cowboys. Sets up the Cowboys with good field position. So 2 plays later, Jake Strong picked off by Caden Mackey. This time Mackey's going to get some yardage too. Close to breaking it away. Look at Strong's effort to help get back there and feed him to the defender. So back-to-back picks, but it sets up good field position for Grayson Linton. Special teams has been an issue for Northwestern State, but he made that field goal. 33 yards out, it's 3-0 Demons on top on the road. Then the Cowboys found their offense. Bryce Strong, right side, 26 yards for Strong, who gets it down to the 7-yard line. Led to a Colby Ham touchdown. That's from 1 yard out, and it's 8-3 after the Cowboys get the 2-point conversion. Minute to go in the second quarter. Strong drops back, then sees an opening and takes off. And there's not a defender now within 15 yards of him. Basically waltzes into the end zone. 35 yards and a touchdown. It's 15-3. 3 minutes later, after 3 and out by the Demons, Trevante Citizen, we know how good he's been, and he is now off to the races. 34 yards down the right side in front of the Demons bench. Citizen then gets it again, and look at him carry the pile. Look, he gets caught at the 7. We're at the 4. We're at the 3. And he gets it into the end zone, just carrying bodies into the end zone. That is determination. 22-3 now. It's the Cowboys on top. Some Demon offense here. Nice run by Colby Burrell, 38 yards. Gets it down to the Cowboy 37-yard line. Unfortunately, they couldn't punch it in for any points. Third quarter here. This is typical of Northwestern's frustrations. Third quarter, first down, Abram Johnston under pressure, sacked by Philip Bradford. Second down, Johnson sacked by Bradford. That's a loss of 5. Third down, Johnston now is in the shadow of his own end zone, sacked again. At least avoids the safety, but sack, punt is some of that inexperience that Coach talked about 1 week ago and leads to some of their frustration on offense. Cowboys get the ball back. Strong with the quick pass to Jonathan Harris. He takes it 23 yards. Cowboys cruise to the win. Under 200 yards of total offense for the Demons. Again, just a lot of frustration there as McNeese now improves to 3-6 overall, 2-3 in conference play. Next up for the Demons, they'll be taking on UIW, the defending Southern Conference champs who beat Lamar on Saturday. And next up for McNeese, on the road at East Texas A&M. After the ballgame, head coach Matt Viator on the complete performance of his team.
Did you think this was probably you guys' most complete football Yeah, probably so. Like I said, I mean, early in the game, I thought our defense did a really nice job of holding the 3. We turned it over, but then thought we kind of settled in and played really good, played good football. I thought we were physical tonight, which was fun to watch. I thought we were fast. Knock on wood, I thought we were really fast in pregame, and stuff. So hopefully we can continue that.
The fact that you got 6 guys in the end zone kind of speaks about what you were able to do with everybody tonight. Is it hard to get guys going? I mean, nobody got really a lot of touches, but you got big.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who got what, to be honest with you. I'll let Coach Reese handle that. But, yeah, it was good. But I think earlier in the week, too, and I do want to say, because I just pointed that out a while ago to the team, but we're really kind of, not really challenged, but, talked to our O-line and D-line about, establishing the line of scrimmage and winning the line of scrimmage. And we felt like if we won, both teams are going to try to run the ball, no doubt. I mean, that's, and then, from there, you're going to throw it and stuff. But we really felt like for us to be successful, this was a line of scrimmage game. And I thought both our defensive line and our offensive line had big nights.
Let's get back to the Cowboys in just a moment. Talk about the Demons real quick. Blaine McCorkle 1 week ago here on Game Notes talked about the fact they're playing so many redshirt freshmen, inexperienced sophomores. It's a growing process that doesn't happen overnight. The biggest thing, it seems, Scott, is the consistency. They challenge Lamar for 3 quarters and come up short. Then they just have a rough night at McNeese. They just can't put it together for a long period of time.
Yeah, and it's tough. Listen, these guys from last week to this week, they're only a week older. So this is a developmental year. They're looking forward to next year. They still have games to play, so you want to see them finish that fight. But I think it was more about what McNeese was. You saw McNeese brand football. You saw Cowboy brand football yesterday. Over 300 yards rushing, no penalties on the day. Philip Bradford, 2 sacks. So it was a complete game. Jake Strong has been phenomenal all year long. So that was as complete a game as they played.
Yeah, and talking about consistently, to your point, let's talk about the Cowboys. 2 weeks ago, they get a shutout win at home. Then they go on the road to Thibodeau, get embarrassed by the Colonels. Then they go back into action last night. And to your point, they wanted to run the ball. Isn't it funny how when you watch a team establish the run, they have success? That's what the Cowboys did last night. So a lot of balance. You heard one of the reporters talk about it and ask Coach about people not getting a ton of carries. Well, they didn't have to for individual players. Scott, 5 players had 8 or more carries, so they were spreading the wealth. Each player offers something different. And to your point, this is what Matt Viator is trying to establish, that consistent reputation, if you will, like talked about the Cowboys from McNeese.
Yeah, when you think of Cowboy football, you think of running the football first, you think of playing smart, which they did, no penalties, but it's controlling the line of scrimmage. And it's the boring part of football that nobody wants to talk about. Everybody wants to talk about throwing the ball at quarterbacks. People groan when you draft offensive linemen, but those guys are how you win games on Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays. And there's a surge. You turn on all these plays and you watch them, and they're pushing the white shirts back every single play. And so if they can get that going in their offense, especially with the way Jake Strong's playing, they're a tough team to beat.
Yeah, and we know how good Jake Strong is with his legs, but also through the air. So a nice win for McNeese. All right, let's turn our focus to teams out of the SWAC now. We're going to head up to Arkansas first. Fred McNair, in his second game as interim head coach for the Jaguars, looking to get a win in the series that Southern has been very good in against Arkansas Pine-Bluff. Let's take it to the action on Saturday and see how things unfolded for a team that, when we talk about frustration and lack of consistency, that's been the Jaguars trying to turn things around. If I'm showing you the opening kick, we've got issues, and this is the opening kick. Princeton Kahee can't handle the block. The ball goes 9 yards the wrong way, and UAPB is in business. 3 plays later for Arkansas Pine-Bluff, DJ Stevenson takes advantage of the gift from the Jaguars. We're 70 seconds in, but somehow we have 104 points scored. That has got to be a record. 1 touchdown. It's now 92-19. Don't know how that happened, but I've had to extend this highlight just so you can see that scoreboard because it got my attention. Back to reality now. It is 7-0 in the second quarter. Ashton Strother hits Zacchaeus Malveaux. 29 yards there on the reception. Then a nice 8-yard dump off here to Trey Holly. Look, the Jaguars got the offense moving now. They close it out when Strother hits Darren Morris. Looks left, 19 yards over the shoulder. Great pass, great catch. We're tied at 7. Let's go later in the second quarter now. This one from Strother. He wants it back. Near his own end zone, he floats this one. It's too high. Picked off by Xavion Stribling, and Stribling's running back to about the 20-yard line before they finally blow the play dead. 2 plays later for the Golden Lions. Watch the determination by Christian Peters. Hit at the 7, spins, 4, 3, 4 bodies, and he gets it into the end zone, just like we saw at McNeese a moment ago. Carries bodies into the end zone, and the Golden Lions have the lead. It's now 17-7. End of the second quarter. Peters rolls out. Check out the catch by Ellis Stewart. 31 yards and the touchdown. It's 24-7. You thought that pass was nice? I'll re-up you one here in the third quarter. 31-7. Peters making the highlight reel with this one. Scott, this one almost looks illegal. Watch this one-handed grab by Peters. Unbelievable concentration.
That is impressive. Backhanded one hand. That is crazy.
Brings it in. It's enough to get him into the end zone. Hey, look, the Jags kept the effort going. Cameron McCoy is now in at quarterback after the struggles from Strother. He heaves this one up when he takes a shot, but it's good for 41 yards and a great catch by Darren Morris. You see the flag come in. That's on the defense. They're down at the 2. Then McCoy hits Morris again for the touchdown. Nice plays, just not enough of them. The struggles continue for the Jaguars as they go up to Arkansas Pine-Bluff, and the Golden Lions get the win in relatively easy fashion. 40-21. Problem. 14 penalties for a $121. You're not winning any games when that happens. Southern only had the ball for under 25 minutes as they fall to 1-7 and 0-5 in SWAC. Next up, they'll give it a shot again when they go to the reservation next weekend to take on the Braves from Alcorn State. Mickey Joseph and company back home after beating #1 Jackson State last week in Vegas. Amon Darrensburg with the start at quarterback after the injury to Xavier Tizet 1 week ago against J-State. First quarter, it's Alabama A&M who's driving. J.D. Davis to Miles Parker. 19 yards here. He gets it down to the 6. David Falk then closes it out with a 32-yard field goal. Alabama A&M goes up 3-0. Special teams issue on the punt. This one only goes 21 yards. And that sets up nice field position for Alabama A&M, and they will take that gift and cash it in. Defensive breakdown for Grambling. Davis hits Donovan Payne, who's wide open. 43 yards of the touchdown. It's 10-0 Alabama A&M. Mickey Joseph told us on Game Notes Saturday he would use 2 to 3 quarterbacks if needed. Unfortunately, it was needed. End of the first quarter. Darrensburg scrambles. Look how he goes down awkwardly, tried to leave the field, went back down, had to be helped off the field. So, next man up, Hayden Benoit enters the chat for the Grambling Tigers. Early second quarter. Benoit out of the shotgun, looks right, throws right, gets picked off to the right. Defense jumps in front of that one, but you got to get some experience to get used to the game, right? But the Tiger defense has Benoit's back as Jalen Gilliard is going to step in front of this pass, and he takes it the other way, 24 yards. It's going to lead to a field goal for Grambling. Let's enter last week's hero, Josh McCormick. 38 yards, and it's good, and now it's 10-3. Late in the second quarter, watch Benoit much more composed here out of the shotgun, standing at midfield. Zips this one over 36 yards to Andrew Frazier inside the 10. Once again, it sets up a McCormick field goal from 30 yards out, and we're 10-6 at the half. Special teams theme warning now taking over the highlight reel. Third quarter, off the punt. I want you to watch closely. Officials rule the ball is going to bounce off the Alabama A&M player first. You see everybody react to it. They're going to jump on it, but Grambling gets it, and they rule Grambling ball. So field goal attempt to make it 10-9, and it's blocked. McCormick makes the tackle WWE style, throws him out of bounds, or it could have gone the other way. How about some more special teams? Mid-fourth quarter, Robert Cole with the 36-yard punt. Delano Franklin has dreams of 6. And he is alive and dreaming. There he goes. 64 yards on the kick return. It's 13-10 Grambling. Victor, can you have more special teams? I say we can. It's another Alabama A&M punt, but this time with under 4 to play, the Tigers can't handle it, and this is a massive mistake. It's a loose ball, and it's rolling out of bounds, and Alabama A&M jumps on it at the 2. But did you see the late flag right there? The officials talk about it. They watch the replay, and they call catcher interference on Alabama A&M, so Grambling gets the ball instead, and that's how this thing ends. Whoa! Grambling squeaks out with a 13-10 win to go to 6-3 and 3-2 overall. Delano Franklin had that game-winning kick return with 4 minutes to go. Third downs, anybody? Waiter, table for 2. 0 for 11 for Alabama A&M, 1 for 15 for Grambling, but they get the job done. They take on Bethune-Cookman next week, and earlier this week, I had a chance to talk to head coach Mickey Joseph and talked about the consistent improvement that he wants his team to have with a special message he had for Grambling doubters.
2 great days of practice, Tuesday and Wednesday, got after it, had a great day, had a great day yesterday. We understand that we're playing with 2 freshman quarterbacks. So, the run game's going to be the key. Run game's going to be the key. And I told the players, winning might not look as good as some people want it to look. But our job right now is to win the game. I don't care if it's 3-2, 2-0, it doesn't matter. Our job is to focus on how we can win the game and block out all the noise, all the negative comments. We want to block all that out because at the end of the day, those folks are not with us. Anybody that speaks negative on us, you're not with us, and we know you're not with us, and we cool with that because you have the right. As a fan, you have the right to do that. But don't act like you're with us when you speak negative on us, especially my kids. You can speak negative about me all you want. I'm a grown man. But don't speak negative on my kids and say that you're for Grambling. You're not for Grambling. You're for yourself. So stay home, stay away from us, and don't bring bad energy to us.
A message well delivered and well said, Coach. Before I let you go, if you don't mind, I want to go big picture just a moment because you have 4 weeks left in the season. You've got, of course, the Bayou Classic at the end of the year down in New Orleans against Southern. Do you feel like your team is peaking at the right time as you get into the month of November and hitting its stride? Do you still think there's more to come? Just kind of give me your evaluation of how you've seen them grow and what you see coming for the final month.
Yeah, we got to continue to have gap integrity on the run game on defense. And what's happening on our run game, we're gapped out with inside zone play, and next thing you know, the kid bounces the ball to the edges, and you don't have any edges because everybody's gapped out. So we're having some unsound stuff that's hurting us right now. And I told Coach Rollins today, I had the kid do it today. I said, watch, he's going to have inside zone. He's just going to bounce it. It's like the old school play that they did in the 90s. You're going to act like we run an inside ISO, and you're going to bounce it. So people are starting to do that to us. But I like where we're at right now. We holding on to the football. If we don't turn the football over the first 2 weeks, we win those 2 games, okay, and put it together. So now we want to get back to make sure we're taking care of the football and we're doing everything that the coaches are asking us to do. And we play as one, and we play for us. And I tell them all the time, you got to play for the guy next to you. You play for the guy next to you and make sure you don't let that guy down. And that's what I want him to do.
Once again, disclaimer, he was not driving. He was being driven, just so we make sure we get that on the record. All right, let's go over to Monroe, where UM-Monroe is taking on Old Dominion. First meeting between the Warhawks and ODU. First play of the game. Cameraman's a bit late to work. Go left, pan left, there he is. Good catch there. Colton Joseph goes 40 yards to Trey Brown. Leads to a 31-yard field goal. Looks like I kicked it. The wind really knocked it down, and the Warhawk defense stands tall. 4th and 1 now. How about this for making a statement? On your own 29, 4th and 1? That's a bold move, Cotton. Well, it comes up a little short. ODU makes the play, and they get good field position with that. And 2 plays later, Travion Hargrove takes it 12 yards into the end zone, and ODU will take that field position gift and turn it into 7 points. Next possession, 4th and 5 at the ODU. Oh, we're in ODU territory. Might as well go for it. And not close. So Colton Joseph comes in and throws it to the most vulnerable spot on the field, to the left side as we're watching play. Cameraman! Where is he? There he is. Wake up. 53 yards to Ja'Cory Thomas on the big reception. Next play, Joseph keeps it. 7 yards here on the touchdown. 14-0 ODU. Stop me if you've heard this before. Second quarter, 4th down for the Warhawks. Different lineup formation this time. Zach Palmer-Smith gets it, and he comes up a half yard short. Hey, they were trying, and afterwards, Brian Vincent said, I went into this game saying, we got nothing to lose. We're going to go for it. We're going to be aggressive. Problem was, they weren't aggressive enough to get the 4th down conversions. Then ODU takes it. Joseph then keeps it for the end zone. 14 yards is 24-0 ODU. Early 4th quarter, Joseph's going to keep it, sees the end zone, breaks it to the outside. He's stretching for it. Watch his foot right there. Gets out at the 1 yard line. That's all right. Next play, he'd score anyway. Makes it 31-0 ODU. 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Special teams are still putting work in, though. ODU back to punt, deep in its own territory, and it's blocked. This close to getting it in the end zone off of the blocked punt, but it does lead to points. Offense comes on the field. Aiden Armenta, 4 yards to Ryland Green, corner of the end zone, but a tough day for the Warhawk offense overall. Nothing wrong with the aggressive mentality. We'd just like to see it work because the Warhawks put up a goose egg on 3rd down. Second team in this highlight program today that went 0 for on 3rd down conversions. 0 for 13 for the Warhawks. Zach Palmer-Smith did have 96 yards on 18 carries, but ODU dominated the day. The Warhawks dropped to 3-6 overall, and next up, they'll face South Alabama after a bye week this coming weekend. How about some Halloween homecoming for Louisiana Tech, taking on Sam Houston Friday night at the A? Look at these sweet black unis. I need one of those helmets for my office ASAP. Good-looking unis. as Tech is at home for a lot of celebration. It would be a big night. Establishing the run early. Clay Tevenen up the middle for 15 yards. 3 plays later, Blake Baker then does it through the air. 36 yards. Devin Candy back in the end zone for the touchdown, and the Bulldogs are up 7-0. 4 minutes later, Mari Wiggins, he's going to bounce this one out left. Tries to go right, takes it the other way, and he is sprinting. 37 yards on this gain as he takes it down to the 3-yard line. 2 plays later, watch Tevenen's strength. We're going to see this again. Third time in 3 different games we've seen this. Bodies, and just the push. Gets it into the end zone. It's 14-0 Louisiana Tech. Sonny Cumbie, hey, let's call that play again. Let's run the ball. They can't stop it. And he's right. Tevenen again. 50 yards here. One move, a little shake and bake, and he is gone. 50 yards to the end zone. It's now 21-0, and we have played 17 minutes of football. Third quarter now. Elijah Green, he goes up the middle, breaks through tackles, but it's problems here. We've got a fumble, the one big play for Sam Houston to knock the ball loose, and then they got a big play going up the middle, and that's going to be a touchdown. Elijah Green, 28 yards on the touchdown, makes it 27-7. You know, I'm the best of all time. That's all there is to it. If you ain't first, you're last. Amari Wiggins, yeah, we're first. Big dominating game on the ground tonight. 23 yards here. Gets it out almost to midfield. Then Blake Baker finds Eli Finley. Now we're just seeing balance. Run left, run right, run up the middle, throw to the right. Finley takes it 23 yards. Then it's Wiggins again. We just saw the guys. How about a little shake and bake? 16 yards for the touchdown, 34-7. We're not done. Tevenen again. He's going to find it. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. 25 yards here. What an explosive night for the Bulldogs as they cruise to the win. Huge night. 55-14 is the final score. Comments afterwards from Sonny Cumbie and the players on the big win.
First and second down efficiency was really good tonight, and when you're able to stay out of those third downs, you know, I think that a big part of it was our running game. And you know, in the second half, you have a 3rd and 10, you're able to call power, and you're able to get, you know, explosive runs. So I know, you know, our guys, I think we're ready and winning. The offensive line again, you know, did a great job. The backs saw it really well tonight, and you know, I think it's a big testament to their progression throughout the course of the year, but also their preparation. And I think our guys did a great job this week with that.
And this is a testament of the hard work. We put it in. We came up short the past 2 games, and, you know, we wanted to make a statement on the ground for sure. And we came out and we did that. Whatever we wanted to do, I feel like we was able to do it. In the game of football, you know, to win games, I feel like you have to run the ball. So we went out there and we showed that we're fully capable of doing that.
No matter who we play, and we've talked about this a lot this year and really throughout our time here, is, you know, we're not going to try any harder as coaches if we play LSU or if we play Sam Houston. We're not going to try any harder as players. We're not going to prepare or try any harder, you know, next week. You know, we got to continue to progress and get better. And so I think that's where the kids have, again, they're a pretty mature team. They understand that in terms of the process. And there was some of them that were here a couple of years ago when Sam beat us on homecoming a couple of years ago. And so they remember that as well. And they remember the hard fight game that we had last year against a really good Sam Houston team on the road. And so this was a game for a lot of reasons that our team was really looking forward to playing. And then when you throw into the fact that it was homecoming and the things around the game, I think our players, you know, they had a focus about them, you know, for this opponent that we need to move forward and carry with us.
I feel like we're heading in the right direction, you know, and it feels pretty good. We're going to celebrate tonight, but we'll be right back for our next opponent.
I want to add on to that because I've been here 3 years. I think a lot of the first 2 years was a grind, but like to be able to finally say like I was loyal and just trusted the process, and to be able to be around the guys I am now, and we're winning games, and the locker room has so much love and it's a brotherhood for real. Like it feels good to win the games.
All right, Scott, so let's go off of that comment from Jacob Fields there, because look at Louisiana Tech since 2021, 3 straight years of 3-9. Remember last year, and we talked about this on our preseason special on Game Notes, 5-8, but they played in the Independence Bowl because the Independence Bowl was void of a team. Remember what Sonny Cumbie said. Our team had a chance to see what it takes to get to a bowl and build off of it. Now, this season, 5-3 with 3 games to play, and they need 1 win to become bowl eligible on their own. And Scott, I think that's where we turn the focus when you look at Louisiana Tech. They looked really dangerous and really well-balanced last night. But to Fields' point, players have been there for a while. You're high on Sonny Cumbie. I know you've known him and his coaching style. When they put it together, It's odd these days to hear players stay a long time, but now you get to see they're seeing the benefits of what they put in.
Yeah, and that feels good to see that young man say that, because it's transfer portal era. People jump ship all the time. People jump out of program to program. But for him to go through the struggles and then to know what that winning locker room feels like with everybody jumping around, it's a great feeling. So, Louisiana Tech, they're quietly 5-3. They're playing really good football, and they switched identities. Early in the year, it was all about defense. They were playing outstanding defense, trying to settle on a quarterback. But now, over 600 yards of offense, over 400 yards rushing. Blake Baker has been their guy at quarterback. They lost a tough one to Kennesaw State when he went out of that game. But this team is I respect Coach Cumbie because he grew up in the Texas Tech air raid era. He was at TCU, high flying, throw the ball around the yard, and he's adapted his game plan to what this team can do the best.
And remember, this is a team that is about to make its move to the Sun Belt Conference next year, and a good chance to go out. Need one more win to become bowl eligible. We'll keep our eyes on them. Those other midweek football being played, a team that also wants to get into a bowl game, and that's the Tulane Green Wave. John Summerall and company, they were in the Alamo City facing Texas San Antonio, a team that has been 23-0 in the last 23 home games. Jake Retzlaff, first play of the ball game. He goes 39 yards left side for the Green Wave and puts him in really good field position in UTSA territory. Later, Retzlaff keeps it himself. We've seen him do this throughout the entire season. So good at it, gets in the end zone. It's 6-0 after the conversion was no good. Owen McCown, this young man had himself a night. Here, up top to Patrick Overmeyer. 44 yards on the completion. Great field position for UTSA, and it leads to McCown tossing to David Amador, who walks it into the end zone, and it's 7-6 home team. Javen Gordon out of the backfield, gain of 5. He would rather have gone 4 and hit the ground because the ball came loose. Ahmad Chapman knocked it loose. Jimmy Wyrick got on it, led to a field goal for UTSA. It's 10-6. Early second quarter, McCown hits Devin McCune, left side of the end zone, 17-6. Uh-oh. This one's starting to get away. Midway through the second quarter, Retzlaff lets this one fly, but it's off target and picked off by Ahmad Chapman. So he's had 2 big plays for defense for UTSA. That leads to Amador getting the ball, and now he's throwing touchdown passes. He gets it. He throws a touchdown. It's 24-6. It's a rout. UTSA gets the ball back. We're still in the first half. A minute to go. Robert Henry, he breaks one down the right side, 34 yards here. Knocked out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Next play, McCown to Amador, and he's back in the end zone. 31-6 at the break. But Tulane does find an answer. Retzlaff going deep. 41 yards to Jimmy Callaway. They don't want to go into halftime without another score. In 10 seconds in the half, they're going to get it. Retzlaff to Zycarl Lewis Jr. That makes it 31-12 as the teams went into the locker room. But in the third quarter, inside the 30-yard line for Tulane, got to make something happen. You got to get some points, right? Well, Retzlaff looking, drops back, looking deep, off his back heels, picked off. One of those kind of nights for Tulane against UTSA, who racked up 523 yards of total offense against this Tulane defense, and they still remain undefeated in their last 24 home games, and this one wasn't close. 48-26. I told you about McCown. 31 of, hey, Lunch, I'll see your 14 of 15 and go 31 of 33 for 370 and 4 touchdowns. Tulane had 4 turnovers to none by UTSA. Now they have to regroup because it's another big game and a must win, and that'll be on the road next week against Memphis.
I don't think the team was distracted. I know I'm not anything. Like I'm kind of tired of people asking me questions about, like, are y'all distracted? Like, distracted about what? Like, there's 0 distractions. And if we have any distractions going on, I don't understand it, because we're in the middle of really challenging conference schedule, and it takes your full focus and full effort and full energy to be the best you can be to, I don't know.
Just let this one hurt for the night. You know what I mean? Let this one for you, for the one for the next week. And we still, like you said, we still got everything to play for. Our goals still in reach. And like I said, just let this fuel the one for next week.
We need to feel the pain of this one for a little while. This should hurt, it should sting, it should suck. It does. And then we have to move forward, and we have to stick together. There's going to be a lot of, obviously, negativity about how we performed, and understandably so. Like, I get it. I'm negative about how we performed, but it doesn't do us any good for me to sit around and sulk. We got to bounce back and pick ourselves up. We got a pulse, which means we got a chance. And, last year we made it to the conference championship game with one loss in the conference play. I think there's several teams now that have one loss, including us. I think Navy's the only undefeated team right now in conference play. And so we still have a lot to play for, and we're still in control of a lot of things that are in front of us.
Of course, those comments were made midweek before Navy played this weekend, and they lost to North Texas. So this is why, if you have a pulse, but this is why you have to win. Still on the schedule, Memphis, Temple, Florida Atlantic, and Charlotte. But, Scott, that next game is against Memphis. That's the biggest one for Tulane if they want to keep that pulse going in the American.
Yeah, Memphis is a really good team. And I think sometimes you get so caught up. You recently just played Army. So what'd you do all week long? You worried about option football. Stop the run, stop the run. And then Owen McCown said, we're not going to run the football. So now you have to address what's going on wrong with your pass rush and your pass defense. So it changes week in and week out how you have to attack games differently.
John Summerall started by saying he's tired of being asked about distractions. And the distractions, of course, are the fact that his name is in there for the LSU vacancy. You were telling me you don't think in these days you think it's almost impossible to not be distracted because of social media and everything else. It's going to happen.
Yeah, and even as a coach, if you're not distracted, your agent is handling whatever conversations are on the side. Kids know everything. Kids have social media. They know whether or not your name is being entered in a certain other opening position. So it takes a toll on them. It really does. As physically demanding as this game is, it's more so mentally and emotionally, especially as you get into November.
LSU had the bye week, and they needed it with all of the turmoil that has been in Baton Rouge over the last 6 days. Frank Wilson named the interim coach as they now get ready to go to Tuscaloosa next week to take on Alabama. Early this week, he spoke to the media and talked about the pride of LSU and what it means and what he expects as a Tiger.
We have a lot of season still left for us, 4 regular season games that we have to conduct our business. How will that look? And it's up to us to determine that fate. Unfortunately, sometimes in the midst of chaos, for us, fortunately, there is opportunity. And in the midst of the chaos and confusions and the whirlwind of things that has been bestowed upon us, we have opportunity. And this team will take this opportunity to be the best version of ourselves. And so for me, it's just being totally focused on capturing our football team to live in the moment.
On Friday, Verge Osbury was named interim athletic director to take over the head coaching search. Frank Wilson, interim coach, he will take care of business on the field. Scott, how can something like this rally when you know the talent, you know the money you spent on NIL, you know the #1 transfer portal class, you know talent is there. Yep. Has not been showing up for LSU, but how can this be a rally point for LSU going to Alabama next week?
I think a lot of times as players, when your coach leaves or gets fired, that he was that lightning rod for your poor play. There's no longer, Brian Kelly is no longer the lightning rod for poor play or losing games. It's now on the players. It's now on each individual guy on defense, offense, special teams. Now you guys have to go out there. You're still wearing the purple and gold. You're still recruited by LSU. You're still going to school. You have an obligation to yourself and to the fan base to put out what is expected of them every time they step out on the field.
John Summerall talked about the distractions because his name is on the list as potential new head coaches for LSU. Here's a look at the latest odds, if you will. Yes, that's all out there right now as to who might be the next candidate, the man to take over for the LSU program. I don't know if this had anything to do with the loss to UTSA, but John Summerall has dropped down Lane Kiffin, but Lane Kiffin might be #1 on everybody's list. Kelvin Shepard, LSU ties, Louisiana ties. He's currently in the NFL. There's Jeff Brom, Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri. These are all going to change. But, Scott, when you bring the conversation back for coaching overall, when you let go of Brian Kelly early and James Franklin got let go at Penn State, what has happened are schools like SMU, who just beat Miami, locked up their coach. Yep. Indiana locked up their coach. Yep. Are other schools now making moves so you can't go get them?
There's no doubt about it. I think you're seeing these other tier programs. Indiana, who Coach Cignetti's been outstanding in the short amount of time he's been there. He would have been highly coveted amongst all these big-time openings, Florida, LSU, Penn State. So all these schools know what's coming. They know the blue bloods who have open jobs are coming for their guys, and so they're locking them down, giving them huge buyouts. And so what's going to happen in college football is you're not going to be able to recycle the same old names like we've seen in college football. You're going to have to go out there and find the next up-and-coming young defensive coordinator, young offensive coordinator, the next great thing. And because in college football for so long, we've seen the same names get recycled over and over again.
And the amazing thing is that requires one word, and fans don't have it. patience. Bring in somebody young who can maybe develop, and we'll see. But look, there are a lot of jobs out there open right now in the SEC, the biggest of all the conferences, let alone everything else that is going to be out there. So at least now we can turn our attention to football, because next week LSU back in action. We'll see how much they can rally behind Frank Wilson when they take on Alabama. Southeastern, massive game against Lamar in the Southern Conference. So many other big ones, and we look forward to talking about them when we see you next week. Thanks so much for joining us. For Scott Shanley, I'm Victor Howell. We'll see you next week for more Game Notes on LPB.
Major production funding for Game Notes is provided by Southern University and A&M College, and Hargrove Engineers and Constructors, and the Rumpf Pugh Agency, with additional support from Lafayette Travel, the LSU Alumni Association, and the Cook Hotel and Conference Center at LSU, Louisiana Tech University, Natchitoches Regional Medical Center, Northwestern State University, Red Stick Sports, the U.S. Army Baton Rouge Recruiting Battalion, the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting, and viewers like you. Thank you.